Welcome to the No Office podcast. My name is Rafal and I'm VP of Product at Nozbe. In our company, we believe that work is not a place to go. It is a thing that you do. That's why since 2007, we have been running our company 100% remotely. In Nozbe, we work at No Office. The No Office podcast is sponsored by Nozbe Teams, a to-do app that helps modern teams do great things. Go to nozbe.com to learn more.
Don't cram 20 people on Zoom.
Fluorescent lighted office all day long. You probably are going to work from home.
Hello and welcome in the 12th episode of No Office, a podcast about work, technology and life from remote company perspective. My name is Rafał Sobolewski and as always, I'm joined by Michael Stevinsky, CEO and founder of our No Office company Nozbe. Hello, Michael. How are you, man?
Hey, how are you? So it's been a very busy week. Instead of writing the No Office book, I had to write different things, but they were really important. We'll get to that in a second. But so I haven't made much progress on the No Office book. But sometimes it's just, life happens. You're busy with other stuff, which is very important because I'm fine tuning the team. So we had our quarterly reviews. So anyway, busy week. I'm good. I'm happy that I'm here. So some of these things we'll discuss today.
You mentioned we had our quarterly reviews. In the latest episode, we shared our takeaways from our personal yearly reviews.
Yes.
And after that, we talked about our work environment and our goals for the next year, our conclusions. And it looks like we have very similar conclusions, both in personal life and in our work. As we agreed that we should focus, we as leaders of our team, the directors team, to focus on setting up the right direction to the team and not to focusing on specific goals and let the team iron out the details.
There was this great book by Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, No Rules, where he says where he talks so much about managing by context, not by control. And what it means is that you have to describe the team, the context that you're in, but let the team do the work. And I realized as I was analyzing my last quarter that I'm trying hard to lead certain initiatives. And this way, I'm kind of offloading responsibility from the team. So they depend on me, so that, that this creates this situation where people don't feel empowered because they still have to wait for me to lead the situation. So they don't make decisions. They don't take initiative. They wait. When I nudge them to do something, they do, but then they still go back to waiting for me. And because I've got so many things on my plate, I neglect some of the things. Then I feel bad about myself. They feel bad about things not progressing, and everybody feels bad, basically. And nobody's proud of the work. So I checked it, with several of our projects, and for example, on the Nozbe Teams website. I set out a few goals for last quarter, and I set them out, in the beginning of November. And these websites are not ready yet. So, in a small company like ours, this can't be happening. That we set out a few things to do, a few pretty minor things, and they haven't been done in 3 months. So, and it's all my fault. So I decided to switch my management style. And to start finally leading by context, not just leading by being responsible for things. And I noticed the same in you, in Ivona, our chief of customer support, and other people in the team, that we have to switch the way we think. We have to really embrace being leaders who are helping, but not managing.
Yes, exactly. So we should transform from being managers to being leaders, to setting up the right context, right direction, and empower the team to deliver the work that needs to be done, and figure out the details. it's kind of funny because in my previous job, there were some in the corporate world hierarchy, there were some job titles like project leader or team leader, but they were below project manager and or team manager. So it was kind of reverse. Yeah, but as you said, we are in the dev team. I think we are already there, and now we want to embrace it into another area of our company. Good analogy would be to how we do it with product, because in product, my job is not to implement features that resolve some problems, but my job is to choosing the right problems to resolve and maybe shape up the solution on the right abstract level.
Yeah.
So not all the details are known yet, because as you might listen to our previous episode about dog fooding, we like to introduce features step by step. First on our dog fooding environment when we use it internally, very rough version of it, and then ironing out the details. And team is empowered to do so and make the crucial decisions how the features evolves. Yeah. So the same you want to do in your marketing department. Yeah. So you are no longer a blocker by creating a website, but you're just setting up the context, like what the website should be about, and then give it to a team.
Yes. So I started, and of course, because I'm new at this, and this is a new way for everyone to see how I will work differently because of that. And people that they look at me, they were confused initially when I started this. So I said, I announced that from now on, I will have no responsibility whatsoever. And everybody was like, what? So Michael is not responsible for anything. So nothing will move forward then, because, Michael has to be responsible for things, right? And then I explained to them, a week later, no. You don't understand. The thing is that we will choose people responsible for these things, and I will still be working with you. I will be giving you feedback, but I will not be responsible for delivering the whole thing anymore. And that's the shift. And the same thing had to happen in customer support, because Ivona is just like me. She wanted to take over things, but then she was overwhelmed and the things were not moving forward. So we are also shifting her responsibilities in the same way, that she gives feedback. She leads the whole customer support team, but she doesn't lead any project in the customer support team. And it's the same for me. I lead the marketing team, but I'm not leading any project in the marketing team. I'm helping out. I'm creating content. I'm writing. I'm actually working much more than before. But it's great work because it's the work that people need me to do so that their project gets successful.
Yeah, and we must still watch ourselves because it's really tempting to just jump on some very specific problems and just deliver it as I know that I can do this. Yeah, I'm good at this, but I need to let the team do that. And about giving feedback. So both you and I, we want to give feedback every day.
Yes.
To a team, but in the way that we are not a blocker to the process. Like the person responsible can make decisions without waiting for our feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, we are right now revamping the Nozbe Teams pricing page. Revamping is a bad word. There is no Nozbe Teams pricing page, so we're actually building one. And for that, Emilia, who's responsible for the website, not me anymore, she's responsible for the website. She created a proposal for a slight change in the pricing table, and she did it. And what I did was I spent like half an hour, really, diving deep into this, analyzing what should be there, what shouldn't be there, her proposals, and gave her thorough feedback. And I told her, this is my feedback, but my feedback is just an input from me. So you decide what to do with it and you continue. I will not look at this again until it's on the website, and then we'll see if we need some fixing. But as you said, I shouldn't be a blocker. If I wouldn't give her feedback, she would just go with this project that she proposed and it would be fine as well. So if I can manage to give her feedback, that's great. And she knows that if I don't do it, if for like one day she waits and there's nothing happening and she needs to move forward with this, she will. And it's fine. So that's really crucial, that you have to empower people to lead the projects, give them responsibility, and let it happen, even if you don't give any feedback and you don't even participate in the process at all. You should, because it helps for them to have pointers from you, because you might know more, bigger context, bigger picture, whatever,
and learn faster how to do it right.
And learn faster, exactly. So that's important. That's why our job is right now to make sure that we give feedback on time. But they know that if we don't, they should just go as they see fit, and that's it. And also, if I give them feedback once, for example, on one subject, I might not want to be participating in further conversations about it. Because, I gave my initial feedback. This should be good enough. Now you just continue, and once the thing is shipped, we'll review it. So this way, and because, when you think about it, for example, in our company, none of the things that people will do are fatal mistakes possibilities. It's not like they can, completely do something against the company, or, they know the company, they know how we operate, what we want to achieve. So even if it's not brilliant at the first strike, we'll just improve it. But it's better, shipped than perfect. It's better done than perfect.
Yes, exactly. That's our angle. We try to do.
Especially, the last year when we learned that cheapo is the next goodo. We start embracing this, that it's better to ship something that is cheaper version of it, of the ideal scenario, to see how people use it, and then tweak it and improve it. And of course, it might confuse some people, or it might be, the changes might confuse. But on the other hand, you then get a feeling if this feature is actually required, if this minimum part is enough, or you need more. So that's and I think this cheapo mentality we should apply to everything that we do. Just ship it, do it. Don't do it badly, but don't do it perfectionly. Don't think about perfection, and so do it cheapo and iterate on it. So also, for this, for example, for our website, we also prepared the system so that we can quickly change things if necessary. So if somebody sees a typo, they can fix it right now. They don't have to wait, get an approval from somebody or whatever. No, you can fix it now. So also, this is important. I think this is the second part, that even if mistakes happen, they're easily fixable, so that people are not really worried about just moving forward with things.
This is really, really crucial. And I think I can divide my work into three main areas.
Mm-hmm.
So first would be really deep work session is for creating, discovering this context, this direction, the problems we should give a team to resolve. This is what I should focus on during my deep work sessions. Of course, another part of the work would be to, for example, recording this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we are kind of face of the company.
Yes.
So we want to communicate to the world our why.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what we do by recording this podcast, or you by writing your no office book. So this is for leaders, as our directors team. This is also important part of the work. And the third part, which we already talked about, is giving feedback.
Yes.
And I love how in Nozbe teams you can separate this in incoming and activity.
Mm-hmm.
So incoming is the view that I need to review daily,
yes,
because 99% tasks that I should give feedback, but still not being a blocker there, are there in my incoming. And the other parts that I can give feedback, but they are not crucial, they are in activity. So I review activity only in weekly review.
Yeah.
Incoming daily. So after the day of work, my incoming counter is 0 and activity is 90 or something like this. So yeah, and of course, it was hard because it's very tempting to watch the activity tasks in activity to see what other things team does.
Yes. So as you said, I call right now the incoming view in Nozbe Teams as the feedback view. This is like, and it's good that actually in the interface we have it like priority next to incoming, because for me both are priority. Because priority is my deep work, and then incoming is all the feedback that I have to give. So like these two things, they need to be next to one another, because they are the most important thing for me. These are if I don't see any other views for during today's session of Nozbe Teams, these two views I have to go through several times a day. Everything else is secondary. So that's I like how we did it with Nozbe Teams, that we have these views.
Actually, I was thinking about some kind of focus mode in this, so you can hide all of the other parts in main menu and see only priority and incoming, not be distracted. Yeah,
that's also something.
Yeah, that's another idea to explore during my deep work session.
Exactly. And just also to plug in our other things. So I just wanted to make sure that people know. We'll link in the show notes the chapter 16 of my book is about reviews, and it's about our quarterly review. So if you're curious about quarterly review, how we review things quarterly, and why we do it, and why I later have one-on-one conversations with each and every one of you, then you'll know it from this chapter. Because we believe that every quarter is a chance to review what you've done and plan it anew. So to make sure that you don't steer away from your directions, from your goals or directions for the whole year. So you just keep doing what you're doing. So yeah.
Anything else on this topic?
So just one last thing about this. So this kind of change of management by context from control or kind of control or trying to take over, which, as we said, we like to do, it takes time. It's a process, and you have to be really patient about it. So I'm not counting on the whole team to embrace it in the next days. I'm hoping they'll embrace it in the next quarter. I hope that this quarter is like a training session for us to change, because culture is being created for a long time, and what happens is that very often people are just used to the way things were, and for them to change, like suddenly they have these responsibilities and they have to deliver these things. It's a new thing, so you have to also encourage them and give them confidence that they can do it, because they can, but they were never required to, and also by giving frequent feedback. So reviewing our incoming view in Nozbe Teams and giving feedback, we also encourage them that, yes, we are still by their side. So we didn't just give them responsibility and told them to, go away and come back when it's done. No, we are telling them, we are on your side. We are your servants. As your leaders, we're your servants. We serve you so that you can succeed. So I said to the team that my hope is that by the end of this quarter, each and every one of them in their quarterly review will be able to tell me what they are proud of, that they have done something that they are proud of. And with this, it's already a success. And that's why this kind of change requires patience. Patience because, as we said, old habits die hard, both for the manager leader and both for the employee, for the teammate. So both have to be more patient, have to be encouraged, and this way they can get it done.
Yeah, so patience you must have.
Patience you must have.
So let's jump to our geeky segment. So let's talk about technology. So apparently, 2021 will be the year of Mac.
Yes.
As Mark Gurman reported many rumors about new Mac models that's supposed to be released next year. Okay, we of course we will not get through those rumors. Yeah. Because we are not that kind of podcast. But still, let me draw a context.
Okay.
As I use my iMac, it's a model from late 2015. Mm-hmm. It's always been good for me. I never had problems with this. I have always been on the newest software OS version. Mm-hmm. So I installed Catalina very soon and had zero problems with Catalina. But the Big Sur was the first system that brought some problems to my iMac.
Okay.
So first, in December last year, so my Mac started to be unresponsive. started to hang, and I needed to hard reset it to bring back to life. And I noticed that there are some processes in Activity Monitor that consumes almost all the CPU usage.
Yeah.
And apparently the solution was to uninstall Chrome. As there's this website, chromeisbad.com or something like this, that suggested that the Chrome is the problem and this server window process connected to this somehow, even though it's a pure system process. So I uninstalled Chrome and it fixed my problem. But apparently when some more competent people raised their opinions, it couldn't be the fault of the Chrome. So I reinstalled Chrome because we use PWA app on desktop for Nozbe Teams. So I need Chrome to do this. Yeah. So it was very unproductive week without Chrome, unfortunately. And the problem came back after a week. But I catched in Activity Monitor that it was some Xcode build server process that consumes so much CPU. And I had the old version of Xcode installed because I never updated it for 2 years. So I uninstalled it and that fixed the problem, finally. Okay, but when I fix this problem, it is responsive now. Of course, not the speed demon, but it's okay. The new problem started with Bluetooth and Bluetooth mouse. The Logitech MX Master 3, which I got in November. And we were recording a podcast with Evelina from our marketing department. She previously worked in Logitech and we talked in this podcast that we use Logitech and we love Logitech. And during the recording, the first time my mouse started to be unresponsive. So apparently with macOS Big Sur, many people have problems with with third-party mice.
Okay, so I understand you have issues. I'm just completely the other way around. I have an older iMac than yours. I have the 2014 late model. I bought it in 2015, but it was late 2014 model, so 1 year older than yours. And I was afraid to install Catalina, so I never did. I think I installed Catalina at the very end of Catalina's life, where already Big Sur was there. And then I installed Big Sur, and I have no issues whatsoever with this iMac. It works perfectly for me. And it's not, as you said, it's not a speed demon, but it's fine. It's okay. But I still feel your pain. I think, at some point, these computers are our main machines, and we have to upgrade them. Like, I upgrade my iPhone every year. So I upgrade my iPhone every year. I upgrade my iPad every 2 years. So it's like...
you update your iPad when Apple release new model of iPad Pro.
Basically, yes. So like I've had all the iPads, like all the models. I think without the iPad 2, but apart from that, everything. So, but anyway, these computers, I update them very frequently. The iMac not. The iMac has stayed for many years in my case as well. So yes, I have kind of the same. I'm in the same boat basically, because right now with the new M1 chips, Apple seems to be really competitive, really fast, energy efficient, and I think, we have rumors of new iMacs, we have rumors of new monitors, we have rumors of better MacBook Pros, and then the MacBook Pro 13-inch that they have right now. So there is a lot to be expected from Apple, and now the question is, should you upgrade now? Should you wait? And what should you wait for?
Yes. Those problems started to appear in the moment when the new reviews of M1 MacBook Air, Mac Mini, and MacBook Pro started to reveal in the internet. And they are great. Also, my second computer, my mobile computer, is iPad Pro. I love it, but it's not like as last year, because of pandemic, I worked mostly on my Mac, not on iPad. As iPad is my mobile computer, and I love working on iPad, but I cannot work for 8 hours straight.
Unlike me.
Unlike you. That's the difference between us.
Yeah, I'm the other way around than you. For me, my main machine is my iPad Pro, and my secondary computer, my bigger canvas, is my iMac.
Yeah, I tried that, but I like to have everything in one device. It's hard to me to switch in between computers like this, like you do. That you have all the reference material on your big canvas iMac and doing the right work on iPad. I don't know, just this concept doesn't work with my brain, maybe.
I appreciate it. I'm not saying my way is the right way. It's just my way, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're thinking.
We started to record our Polish podcast with video. I started to record more screencast. And this type of stuff requires some power. So this is my thinking. My devil on my right arm is telling me
I need
this.
more power.
Yeah, need more power. You need new Mac.
Of course, you need it. Mm-hmm.
As I said, working on an iPad for the whole day is not something I want to do. I still like to grab my iPad and go to the couch and work for 1-2 hours, and it's very productive time for me. But it's not like my main machine. Plus, I cannot connect external camera that I have for our live recordings to iPad. It's not supported. Second of all, iPad still doesn't support this multiple audio streams. So you can use audio input in more than one app. So it's hard to record podcasts on iPad properly. So I was thinking, okay, I can get a MacBook Air. Would be perfect for this.
Yes.
But then I would have to sell my iMac, or have two computers, which is too much. It's not a minimalistic approach that I like. And still, there are better computers on the horizon. And I don't want to spend so much money because, in November and December, I've already spent a lot for the gadgets. Plus, I want to get back to traveling, to live this semi-nomadic lifestyle when we are all vaccinated. I probably need some kind of MacBook, because I'd like to next winter to spend 2-3 months not in Poland but in some warmer country, maybe Spain. We'll see. So it will be hard to have a desktop computer for that. Yeah, and we talked that I would probably want to create some separate workspace for recording these podcasts and the videos. So another example why MacBook Air is now the most compelling right now. But anyway, I decided that I can wait. The setup that I got now with the Bluetooth issue would be resolved with my iMac, and macOS Big Sur 11.2 is supposed to fix that. So it's good enough for a couple of months, and I will wait what the future brings, and in the autumn I will make a decision. And I probably, if the rumors from Mark Gurman are true, I would go with MacBook Pro 14-inch.
So I think that's what you should get. You should get the MacBook Pro 14-inch. So the new rumored MacBook Pro that they will release, it's going to be much faster than the current MacBook Pro 13-inch. It's going to be much faster than the MacBook Air. And also, if the rumors are true, they will release a new monitor, a new screen.
Yeah.
Like a 5K or 6K screen, which won't be 6K in money. So it won't be as expensive as the current screen, because the current screen is just too darn expensive. So I would go with this setup for you. So you should get this external screen from Apple with the MacBook Pro that comes with it. And this way you will have the power that you need. You will have a portability, mobility, and also you will have a computer that you can move around also, for example, to this dedicated setup that when you will record your podcast.
And have this nice monitor as a background to my video frame.
For example, exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll have this monitor will serve two purposes. It will be used as a monitor when you work on it, and then it will be used as a prop during recording. So that's great. Yeah. And in my case, for example, I was also thinking about this. So in my case, I'll definitely not want to have a MacBook again. So I will not buy the new MacBook Pro 14-inch or 16-inch or whatever. The only MacBook that I was always interested in and wanted was the MacBook Air, but I don't need the MacBook Air. So in my case, I'm just waiting for the new iMac. because if the new iMac is released and it's a new design and it has the M1 chip and everything else, then I might get the iMac, and I might also really go all the way and not only get the iMac but also get the second screen. So get this additional 6K screen for the iMac. This way I can have two screens. But maybe not. Maybe just the 6K screen in the iMac. If the iMac is 6K, it should be enough for me. So we'll see about that. But the iMac is for me the way to go. The only concern from these rumors that I have is that the new iMac will be like the first iteration of it and will not have Face ID.
Yeah, and that would be a bummer.
That will be a bummer because I think Face ID should be in the iMac. I mean, I'm here in front of my iMac. When I'm launching it, it should recognize me using the Face ID, and that's it. Like, this is how my iPad works. This is how my iPhone works. They use Face ID all the time, and it works brilliantly. For example, my iPad Pro uses Face ID, and I wouldn't change it for anything else. The new iPad Air with Touch ID, I don't want it. I prefer the Face ID because I don't have to do anything. I just have to look at it, and that's it. Yeah. So I really want the new iMac to have Face ID. This would be awesome, and not having it would be a bummer and would be a question for me if I should wait a little bit longer for the upgrade. Because as I told you, like in my case, I have no issues with my iMac so far. It's fine. It's fast enough. But we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we will see how much space they left for the camera in new iMac, and then I hope we will be able to tell if there is a space for Face ID in the future. Yeah, because they will update the construction, and they don't do it like every year. Once they do it, they have to stick it for a couple of years.
But that's the thing, on the iMac, there is no need for it to be so thin. Like, it's an iMac.
Yes,
I will not see the back of the computer. So it can be a little bit thicker. It's fine. Really, like this thing about thinness. Okay, so make the whole thing a little bit thinner and then have the, bezels a little bit, I mean, the bezels, but the back of the a little bit thicker. It's fine. My iMac, it's very thin on the sides, and it looks really nice. But really, if it's a little bit thicker, I don't mind. But just Face ID is really something I would appreciate every day.
Yeah, actually, I have the same construction iMac, so I would prefer if it's thicker on the side, on the edge, so they can put ports on the edge, so they are easily accessible from the side, not from the back, because from the back you need to do the gymnastic.
Yeah, I mean, at least divide the ports, like put some ports on the side and some ports in the back, and then it's fine. Yeah. Like, ports are not expensive, and they would really be useful. I mean, because as you said, getting to the ports, it's really, really difficult when you have the iMac installed and when it's very close. For example, in my case, it's very close to the wall, so I have to actually take it from the wall, to make sure that I can attach something to the port. I don't do it often, but still, it's annoying. So yeah, completely agree with you.
Going back to MacBook Pro, I think it's better for me to get, I don't need to get MacBook Air, as I still want to use my iPad Pro as my mobile computer. So I want to use iPad when I'm on the travel, in a plane, in a train, or in a coffee shop. iPad is perfect for this. So I don't need to optimize MacBook to be light and thin. I just need not to be a mobile computer, but mobile workstation. Yeah,
but I would still encourage you to get the smaller one, the 14 inch instead of the 16 inch, because the 16 inch is really big, and then it's really not very portable. Yeah,
because with 14 inch I can easily grab it in my home and take it and to my niece or to the coffee table. Yeah, so it's more flexible, but still outside of the house, iPad is the way to go.
Yeah, and the thing is that for your own setup, in your own home, you should get the new display, whatever Apple releases, and hopefully they will release a new display. But if you plan, for example, to move to Spain for a few months or some other warm country, I would encourage you not to take this display with you, because there will be lots of hurdle. But then you can really buy a cheap display. You will not have such a glorious Apple display, but you can buy a cheap display for $200 or $300, and connect it to your MacBook Pro, use it for these months, and then after that you will sell it on some reseller website, and still like you will have lots of productivity gain from having two screens, but without schlepping your big glorious screen from one place to another.
And I can still buy this cheaper monitor and later just put it in, for example, my parents' house. When I want to visit them, I have the second monitor already.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is actually pretty useful. I mean, with the current laptops, especially with the new MacBooks, they work very well with the external screens. So if you can have any external screen, from in any place that you go to, then it's a bonus.
Apparently, the first version of iMac wouldn't have Face ID, and there are the rumors that MacBook Pro wouldn't have 5G modem.
Mm-hmm.
The first version, which is another bummer because it's like cellular modem is something that I remember my boss had in the previous job. So it was like 8 years ago in the PC laptop, in Windows laptop there.
Yeah.
It's really a bummer that they wouldn't have it. Hopefully they will, because it's like I still don't get it why. We are 2021 and we are still talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I've always been repeating, that having my iPad connected to the internet at all times, it's just glorious. It's fantastic. When I go outside, it's online. Like I don't have to think about it. I don't have to tether it to anything. I don't have to connect it to anything. It's just online. So hopefully they'll figure it out.
So that's it for our geek technology corner. And let's wrap up this episode with Relax Corner. So, you know that Steve Jobs always talked with people during taking a walk with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was famous for this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was famous for this. And I have a friend who lives in Switzerland. And always when he comes to Poland, we always meet for a walk and talk and catch up what's up with our lives. Yeah. And it was always like this even before the pandemic.
Okay.
Actually, during pandemic, it was natural way for us to meet still. So
yes,
we continue to do that every couple of months. And it's really safe way to meet with people right now. Because when you are outside and you wear a mask, it's like the probability that you will be infected is almost zero, yeah?
Yeah.
So, last Thursday we have our quarterly talk.
Yeah, we had it. Mm-hmm.
And we talked about Mark, our new employee, that we didn't have any physical reunion last year, so he maybe feel a little like he didn't have a chance to get to know physically anyone from the company.
Yeah, that's correct.
I checked the weather and I saw that it were supposed to be very nice weather next Friday. So I decided I can go 180 kilometers to Poznań just to go for a walk with him and meet him. So I did. Mm-hmm.
How did it go?
Yeah, it was very cool. So first of all, it was Friday. So our mighty Friday policy. So I prepared a playlist in Overcast with work-related podcasts to listen during the road.
Cool.
It took me 2 hours to get there. And it was very pleasant. So we met at 12 and just started to walking in Poznań and talking. So, and we very quickly talked about work-related stuff we were supposed to talk about. And then we switched to personal topics. And apparently Marco is a great guy, because we talked a lot about technology, politics in Poland, Portugal, as he is Portuguese, and football.
Yes.
Of course, Ronaldo versus Messi.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and after a couple of moments, I realized that it's 2:30, and my activity rings in my Apple Watch are full, and I need to go home. Yeah, normally I would take a lot of photos during a walk in a city with a nice weather, because I love to take photos of the cities. But during this walk, we took only one photo just to post it on our Slack that we met.
Yeah.
And I feel very energized. But the way back was kind of sucked because it was about 3 p.m. So the traffic hours started. Plus, it started to getting dark because winter,
Yes.
I have to be very concentrated because #Polish drivers.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way back took all energy from me, and after I came back to home, I didn't have any power to do anything else. But it was a very good day.
Yeah, I think this is something we should really start practicing more, especially in this pandemic right now, to meet and just walk. And the thing is that you can also do it with people who are not in the same physical space with you. Just yesterday, for example, I had our quarterly meeting with Raju, with my co-host of the podcast, and who's our VP of engineering.
Raju also likes to walk and talk.
Exactly. So he was actually walking from his home to Hackerspace, where he spends his leisure time, because we met virtually at 3:30 p.m. So like finishing our work, and instead of sitting in our home offices, we walked. He walked to the Hackerspace instead of riding a bike, and I just walked around here, around my town, like my neighborhood. And it was amazing. Like we had FaceTime on, so we could see each other. We could show each other sometimes like what we're seeing. So he, for example, showed me his new apartment that he's moving into, and then he showed me other things. I showed him, some views here, and it was amazing. Like we spent 2 hours as well, like a little bit less than you, but still 2 hours walking a lot. And of course, also my activity rings were full after this, and it was a very cool walk and a very good exercise, but also it was very good conversation, very deep conversation. So even with FaceTime, and just walking, it's fantastic. It's very cool. So I think we should practice it more. And also in a virtual environment, like walk with people and have them on FaceTime, it's okay. Like, it's you talk to yourself from the outside, but you know that you're not doing that. You're actually walking with somebody. And even if they're on the opposite side of the globe, they are still walking, you're walking. So it's fine. So really, I think you're onto something. This is a great way to meet and a great way not to just sit around. Because we are used to like whenever we want to meet, let's go to a cafeteria, let's go to somewhere else and just sit and just, eat something or drink something, whatever, which is also good when it's not pandemic. But now that there's pandemic, this is a great solution. But I think also after the pandemic, this should be a good solution anyway, to just have more meetings like this, more active meetings, like walking together. And you don't have to walk fast. You can walk slowly. You can stop. Like it's not, it's just being outside, having some activity and, discussing things.
Yeah, as long as you wear a mask, it's more than okay to do it.
I'm really happy about this discovery, and really I'm going to take it more to a higher level next time. And actually, hopefully in next quarter, I will have quarterly meetings with you guys also like this, because there is a difference. Like when the meetings that I described in my book, the way we structure meetings, when we have really project-oriented meetings, like for example, Design Fight, where we discuss design things. So then you cannot do them by walking because you want to have the reference material and all that stuff around you. So it's hard to walk then. But if, as you said, the purpose of your meeting or the purpose of my meeting was to talk about things that we already knew what we wanted to talk about. It was a kind of a connection meeting or reconnection meeting. So in these kind of meetings where you talk about this and you just talk about loose subjects and you don't need reference material, you don't need to be like, you have to be prepared, but you don't need to be really, just following along kind of presentation or anything like this. Then it's just fine to walk.
All right. So thanks you guys for listening. And remember, today is Friday. So make it Mighty Friday. Maybe meet with someone for this kind of virtual walk or physical walk and talk to them, reconnect and so on. And this was episode number 12. So all the show notes and reference material are available for you at nooffice.fm/12. And you can also leave a feedback there in a comment or use #nooffice on Twitter. That's it for today. Say goodbye, Michael.
Okay, so goodbye. Have a great Friday. Learn something new. I encourage you to learn something completely new for this year. This way, you won't be worried so much about the pandemic, but your mind will be engaged in something creative and something good. So use the Friday well, do a good review, and learn something new. Good luck.